Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
Hello and welcome to ETMarkets Crypto Q&A. I'm Aloni Bhatt. Today we have Parth Chaturvedi, lead crypto ecosystem at CoinSwitch Kuber, who will respond to all your questions. Now, Parth is a crypto native since 2018, and before his role at CoinSwitch, he was a management associate at FalconX, which is a digital asset trading platform headquartered in the US.
Hi everyone, this is Parth Chaturvedi. I'm crypto ecosystem lead at CoinSwitch Kuber. Today, the topic for our Ask Me Anything or AMAs is very interesting, and I've been getting a lot of media coverage. It's around the metaverse, and basically, discussing all the details around what exactly is the metaverse, what does it mean for our future interactions, and like how is it going to scale globally. So, first questions first: what is a metaverse? So, think of the metaverse as a virtual integration of different technologies coming together, which like includes virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, and the likes. So basically what it does is it creates a digital representation of your real life, and you sort of live within a digital world, one that is completely disconnected or connected to the real world as per requirements. So great examples that we have like are games where we actually go and become characters in the games and complete tasks or things like that. In the future, like the metaverse is going to be like your digital avatar, where you can go into one particular metaverse as a different person, another as a different person, and conduct like daily activities in a digital format. So a great example that I like to put is like, because of the pandemic, we've been induced to this Zoom environment where do all these meetings and in on Zoom, like where you just a 2D formation of your self on the screen. Taking this to the next level is what the metaverse can do, where avatars of all the people who are on the Zoom call enter a common area created in the digital world, where they can sit together, chat, and discuss different details that want to be covered in that particular meeting. This is just one use case. Like there could be several others on where the metaverse would be extremely helpful. So how does the metaverse work? The metaverse lets users recreate the experience in the real world in the form of a virtual experience on a virtual platform. This effectively allows them to interact with friends or any other participants of the metaverse and have new experiences, experience them totally virtually. This technology is again like very nascent. It's very in the development phase, and like enthusiasts claim that the final product will take probably a decade to become like reality. But once it does, it will allow users to work, shop, do business, buy assets, and create content or art completely in a virtual environment. It can also be described as living a wholly digital life of sorts, away from reality or attached to reality. So when you hear of the word metaverse, I think one of the prominent mainstream companies that entered the space was Facebook, which rebranded itself as Meta, and the plan is for them to launch their own metaverse sometime soon. But are there any popular metaverses that are around at the current moment? Yes. Although Meta's launch is far out, we already have like a lot of projects that are active in the space and do see a lot of user activity in their metaverses as well. Probably the top two in terms of popularity, in terms of usage, are the Sandbox project and Decentraland. Another couple that I think are good projects that you can like look at are Somnium, Somnium Space, and Crypto Voxels. Besides these, there are like several like gaming specific metaverses also that have come up. Axie Infinity is a name that comes to mind, which got huge popularity because of its play to earn game. And similarly, there's another called Gala Games, which is also like trying to build something similar to what Axie did in terms of creating like metaverses popular for gaming. The ones that I mentioned in the beginning, Decentraland and Sandbox, they are trying to create like replicas of virtual worlds, and there you can actually go and buy land and build projects using their metaverse tokens or metaverse cryptocurrency. The next question that we get, so all of these mentioned metaverses are on standard blockchain. What is the use of their native tokens when it comes to metaverse specific interactions? So native tokens, I would like to focus on just Decentraland and the Sandbox project. They have ERC20 tokens that are listed on the platform. So for Decentraland, it's called Mana. For Sandbox projects, it's called Sand. And what these native tokens do is they can be used within the metaverses for a variety of use cases, including staking, governance, in-game NFT trades. So the best example is in Decentraland, you have to buy land parcels. They are referred to in land as a measurement unit. For buying those land tokens, you would need the native token, which is Mana. And then like once the purchase is done, you have like unique ownership of that particular piece of digital land. What are the diverse metaverse specific use cases to take note? So at the very onset, metaverses are hotbeds for NFT growth. Any digital asset that is represented in the metaverse can be verified and represented on a blockchain. So it gives you like complete authenticity of who's the user, what has been the ownership of that particular digital asset in the past. Beyond that, there are a lot of DAO related developments that are happening within the metaverse. DAOs are, as we have discussed in a previous episode, digital decentralized autonomous organizations where no single party or hierarchy rules the governance of the organization. It is all distributed amongst the token. Besides, these metaverses also allow for digital real estate development. And related to that would be powerful advertising strategies. So a lot of these Web2 companies have started buying land in these Web3 metaverses and using them as advertisement source for our users that come onto the platform. So over time, metaverses are bringing in the concept of even like unique play to earn games, motivating more and more people to join the space. The best example for this has been Axie Infinity in the past. Finally, as a virtual space, the metaverse also lets you sell offerings within the ecosystem. So let's say once you develop a digital real estate in the metaverse, you could operate an art gallery where other NFTs could be displayed there, or a retail clothing line shop where people can come and buy digital avatars for themselves. Very recent example is McDonald's, which opened a virtual restaurant in the metaverse. And it just validates the concept further that how in the future dealing with metaverse and NFTs is going to become more mainstream. I mentioned play to earn in the example that I was giving above. So how do play to earn games work in the metaverse? Can you I'll explain them a little more detail. So play to earn games for the metaverse can be termed as part of gamify. Gamify is a unique concept that is taking over the gaming universe, which is a confluence of traditional gaming and novel financing using DeFi. DeFi, as we have learned in previous episodes, is decentralized finance. So GameFi basically is the coming together of traditional gaming and DeFi related innovations. So in some simpler terms, GameFi takes digital gaming to a whole new level altogether. Once you are in this virtual space, the financial aspects come into support of play to earn models, incentivizing game creators and game participants, and furthering in-game purchases as well. You play a specific game, you earn native tokens or coins for that play, giving your time in playing that game, which can also be NFT avatars as well. And eventually you can use all these assets that you gain, including the native token or the NFT, to trade on marketplaces and convert them into like real world fiat, or you can exchange them for other tokens or other NFTs. So in short, like play to earn is enabling players to convert their time and energy that they spend on playing the game into assets that can be used for value creation. So another question that we get is, how are the metaverse and crypto tokens related? How are they connected? So metaverses generally function using their own in metaverse currency or token. As I mentioned in the beginning, like let's for sandbox it is sand, for Decentraland it's mana. Ideally they can be used to buy digital real estate, invest, sell, buy avatars, buy weapons, or buy like any particular digital good that can be used in that metaverse. So it sort of gives your character in the metaverse more real life or customizable characteristics. For these transactions to take place efficiently in the metaverse, they need like a currency which is sort of like a medium of exchange, and that is wherein like sand or mana come into picture, allowing easier commerce within the metaverse. So unlike the real world where fiat currencies are used to pay for services, land, or other resources, in the metaverse you use like a platform specific tokens. Another reason for this is it's very cumbersome to convert fiat into payment options for digital assets. So having in-game or in the metaverse tokens really helps smoothen up and streamline the entire process. So how are metaverses and NFTs connected? So this was the connection between metaverse and tokens. How are metaverse and NFTs connected? As I mentioned, NFTs are basically enablers of ownership. So what you do is like it helps you identify the authenticity of a digital asset and the uniqueness of the digital asset. So NFTs enable users to have full control over their digital assets in the metaverse. The blockchain technology, which is underlying the NFTs, serves as an immutable confirmation of ownership. For instance, if you are to buy a bunch of land in Decentraland, the metaverse would provide you a proof of confirmation in the form of NFTs saying that this particular land is owned by this person, and it also guarantees that by the underlying blockchain technology. Another question we get asked quite few often is, why does Ethereum keep coming up every time metaverse-based transactions are discussed? Ethereum is not a metaverse. Ethereum is a general purpose blockchain, which has been which invented smart contracts in a way and has been around for all dApps or all DeFi or NFT related developments. So it's basically provided the underlying technology layer on which like all these innovations can be built on. Particularly, you hear a lot of Ethereum while discussing these metaverse projects, is because most tokens like Mana that I mentioned for Decentraland and Sandbox projects, and they are actually ERC20 tokens. So they are built as tokens on Ethereum. This means that they don't really have their own blockchains. They rely on Ethereum's network to verify transactions for them and build their operations on top of the Ethereum layer. Therefore, while the platforms themselves might have been built on Mana and Sand, it's all Ethereum behind the scenes, and it provides the security of the blockchain network to run these applications. So how can you, as an investor, consider investing in the metaverse? First of all, investing in the metaverse is extremely risky. It is even investing in crypto is considered as one of the most riskiest asset classes. This is at the frontier of investing within crypto as well. So I would say like you have to do like a lot of research before trying to delve into investing in the metaverse. It needs you to identify the use case first. So you have to understand what exactly are you investing in. Is this a digital real estate project that you think is going to boom in the future? Or do you think this is a particular gaming asset that will be used by a lot of gamers in this particular metaverse in the future? So once you've decided this in terms of like how your research has resulted in this as a good investment opportunity, you can identify the platform, keeping like some kind of a metaverse index in mind to benchmark your investment against. So you have to decide on the tokens that you will be investing in. You have to choose a wallet for those transactions. You have to eventually invest in the token or the particular NFT of an ecosystem. So again, like in general, if you think that the metaverse built by Decentraland is going to gain traction, you might just invest in Mana as the token that will help in that will grow once the metaverse grows. Or you can decide on specifically investing on a certain land parcel or on a certain NFT within the broader Decentraland metaverse. Then the next question that we get answered, quite questioned a lot about is are there some real world companies pouring into the metaverse, like to sort of give like some kind of a validation of these concepts. So as I mentioned, like giants like McDonald's have already started exploring this space. Retail players like Nike or Louis Vuitton or Gucci, they've already started setting up metaverse, buying up land, real estate in the metaverse, and setting up showrooms or experiences. Even banks, for that matter, like JP Morgan Chase has opened a lounge in Decentraland, and the aim is to be the first bank to have like a metaverse presence. Further, like we have heard like several announcements from like tech giants like Nvidia, Meta, which I mentioned as like it rebranded from Facebook to Meta, Verizon, Roblox. There's some of the real world companies that are already delving into metaverse with a focus on software modules, internet services, security solutions, and more to amplify the experience that people get once they are active in these metaverses. So I've given a lot of example about Decentraland, and like would like to further delve a little deeper there. How does the metaverse Decentraland work? So Decentraland is a virtual reality space that uses the crypto token Mana. Users on Decentraland can explore land owned by other users and witness different kinds of structures being built on them, experiences being offered. And in order to participate in all of this, you are basically entitled to access using the Mana token, or you can further like build these NFTs or develop these land parcels by buying them outright using the Mana token. Similarly, like let's delve a little deeper into Axie Infinity, which has been touted as the ultimate gaming metaverse. Many players, especially in emerging economies, are very active on Axie Infinity. Examples are Philippines is supposed to be like the most active country there, where basically it's a game where you collect Axie tokens, and later you can redeem them for real money on exchanges or even peer to peer. Although it's hard to say how many people are playing just to earn this money. DappRadar, which is like a website and database, it tracks DeFi and NFT related matrices. It saw that it recorded a 600% increase in the number of crypto wallets connected to the game's server in 2021. So a lot of people are using Axie as a way to cash out from the crypto economy and convert it into real world gains. So that's how play to earn within Axie is very important. The other project that I want to talk about is Sandbox, and why is it such a popular metaverse project. Adding Sandbox is like a fully developed virtual land that concerns competitive gaming. So it allows for for the users to actually play games and participate in winning tournaments within the Sandbox metaverse. And what's interesting is that the platform comes across as a play to earn ecosystem, where the earn tokens can also be used to purchase digital objects and land as NFTs again. Similar to what is happening in Axie Infinity, but here the focus is more on capital appreciation, or in general development of the metaverse, versus cashing out your play to earn rewards, which is the case in Axie Infinity. So as we end the first half of 2022, the question that we get is the metaverse going to get even bigger in the second half of 2022? Well, the numbers speak for themselves. There is like a growing community of people who believe, that this is the future of the internet, and this is the future of interactions on the internet. Players can move around in these virtual worlds. They can participate in meetings. They can buy or sell real estate, or even build a house. So it sort of gives you like a dual digital life in the future, and that in itself will continue to draw on people's interest. There's a lot of research currently happening in this field. There is still, I would say, that's a very nascent stage, and probably the push that we get from some of these big tech players like Meta coming into the space will really push us forward. A moment here to just give references to sci-fi, where it has always been like the case where like in movies like The Matrix, or even TV comedy, cartoon shows that used to show this back in the day, like Johnny Quest, where basically human beings live two lives, like one in the real life and the one on the digital realm. And that possibility in itself is very intriguing and is getting a lot of interest. Final question is, what is the impact of metaverse on the global crypto markets? So we have seen like high correlation between metaverse related tokens and the general broader crypto markets. However, we think that it's only going to get more decoupled in the future, where people will be focusing more on individual project tokens and how they're succeeding, and probably their values will move according to the underlying value of that metaverse project. So in terms of getting more access to people, well, we definitely think that gaming is sort of like a gateway or a doorway for a lot of people interested in crypto to understand how it can help them in such games like Axie Infinity. Players can also trade like game related NFTs outside the game in like open marketplaces, and smart contracts will eventually allow NFT owners or minters to get royalties in every secondary sale. So in this way, liquidity of NFTs from a game gets better off, and like it just enhances because there is like a secondary market for it. And this in itself will create like interest for new users to come in and start using these in-game NFTs or within the metaverse NFTs more broadly. Overall, the sentiment is very positive on gaming in general, and blockchain gaming helping metaverses to grow. Again, like as I mentioned, like big tech movers in the space will have like further, they will further validate the whole concept of the metaverse and take it to the next level. That's about it from me now, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, that's it from us. Hope this was all informative. Now do write into us at ETMarkets Crypto Corner with all your thoughts and questions. From all of us, goodbye.
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.